Everyone ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right. The stream. It was 5 a.m. and he was getting up to prepare for the day. He had so much to prepare before 8 a.m. He dragged himself to the bathroom and stared into the mirror. He stared at the dark circles under his eyes and heaved a sigh. He peeled his sweat-drenched clothes off of his body and went over to the small cabinet in the corner. He bent down and took a key from the chain on his neck. He inserted the key into the locked cabinet and turned it around 3 times. With a click, the lock fell from the cabinet and he opened the door. From within, he pulled out 2 rubber gloves. He gently placed the gloves on the towel rack and proceeded to lock up the cabinet. With gloves in hand, he stepped into the shower and slowly pulled them on. Then he turned on the shower head and let the hot water cascade over his body. He grabbed the bar of soap to his right and began to clean every inch of his dirty body. He scrubbed away all the imperfections he thought occupied his skin and then stepped out of the shower. Instead of drying off, he went to the kitchen, passing by the open window overlooking the forest. He looked at the microwave and saw it was only 5:30, and he had plenty of time before he needed to be ready. Gloves still on, he opened the fridge and took out the opened beer from last night. He went back to the window, still dripping wet, and took a long sip. He then went back to the fridge, replaced the can of beer, and took out the leftovers from a week ago. Orange chicken from the small restaurant 5 minutes away from his apartment. Taking a sniff, he says, still fresh. Dumping the contents onto a plate, he moved it into the microwave. He put it into the microwave and waited for it to finish heating up. After the ding of the microwave sounded, he headed into the bathroom and finally removed his rubber gloves. He threw them into the trash and went into his dresser, which resided in the bathroom, and pulled out a worn-out pair of jeans, a black shirt, and a flannel. He put on his outfit and then repeated the ritual from before his shower, getting a new pair of rubber gloves. He headed back to the kitchen and began to eat his food. Suddenly, he looked at the clock and saw it was 7:45. How had time flown by? He needed to be ready to go by 8. He rushed into his office adjacent to his bedroom and hastily turned on his computer. He checked all the settings and made sure it was ready to go. Remembering his most important thing before getting to work, he rushed back to the kitchen to grab his drink. But when he opened the fridge, he could not find his beer. In its place was a Sam's Diet Cola. Perplexed, he distinctly remembered taking a sip of it this morning. He closed the fridge door and decided to go to the pantry to grab one. Suddenly, on the counter in front of him, was that same can Diet Cola. Perturbed, he quickly ran to the pantry and threw open the door. He expected to be comforted by his assortment of instant food meals and beer, but every shelf was full of Sam's Diet Cola. He fell backwards as he tried to back away from the monstrosity happening. He rubbed his gloved hands together, taking little comfort in their ability to keep his hands from touching the outside world. He decided to go back to his office and pretend he was overworked. He put on his headphones and hit stream on his. Hey guys, what's happening? Today is another beautiful day, and I want to tell you all about morning. He checked to see if people were coming in, but he found something odd. First person to chat's name was Sam's Diet Cola, and the next, and the next. They were all Sam's Diet Cola. He thought it must be some inside joke. They even began to type it in chat. He backed away from his computer and threw his headphones on the desk. To his horror, 3 cans were next to him. He ran from the room. He went to the window for some air, hoping he was truly overworked and too hot to have AC. As he looked out at the forest, he was puzzled to find growing on trees. Upon closer inspection, he realized they were not at all, but Sam's Diet Cola cans. He ran from the window and heard a knock at the door. Hoping for the solace of human contact, breath ragged and irregular. He found himself face to face with a security officer from his complex. Excuse me, sir. You all right? I have some complaints from your neighbors. Complaints? About what? From behind, the officer pulled out a can, and I think you can guess what it was. Complaints you have not considered more than can. To his horror, he looked at the face of the officer as the flesh melted on his bones. But instead of blood, there was a dark amber liquid with a faint smell of soda. He screamed a blood-curdling scream and himself. He landed on the ground 5 stories below. This was not the end. What was the start in a hospital bed? Sir, please calm down, the nurse said calmly from his right. He looked over at her and asked what was going on. She calmly answered, You've been in a coma for 3 days, and it appears you had a nightmare. Perplexed, he looked down at his body and then asked the question, "What is my name?" The nurse smiled sinisterly as she grabbed a cut. He looked down at his body again and noticed something strange. His hands still had the on them. The nurse slid the tray over his body, trapping him in bed. She then cracked open a can and poured it into a cup. He knew this drink all too well. "Why, sweetheart, your name is Sam." And I love it.
Perfect. Why is yours similar to mine, but more engaging?
Oh god.
Oh, mine is not engaging at all. Mine is just, I didn't even try to write nicely. Everyone did details and like good writing and painting pictures. I just.
Is he mine? Oh, poop.
Did you just die?
Yeah.
Bro, I was like keeping you safe and everything, and then
No, I got quite far behind you, and then I blew up.
Okay, quickly run back that same direction and go get your stuff. Do you remember the way?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay, I'll log out so your stuff doesn't despawn.
Yeah, no, my story was about a stream, and then it ends up below. So.
This one's called Cleaning Day. It started out as one of those normal weeks. You know, the ones where nothing particularly exciting happens. The ones where you don't think much of what's going on. Then on the Friday of days came along. I was cleaning my house as normal. I slipped on my rubber gloves and started scrubbing the kitchen floor. That's about when I saw some strange dark liquid underneath my refrigerator. At first, I thought it might be a strange leak, but that seemed off. Then, I saw a cola can wedged in between the fridge and the wall. It was the Diet Cola I bought from Sam's. The special edition. Oh, frick, I cursed aloud. A loud bang started me upward, and I hit my head on the nearby table. It hurt a lot, but I looked up to see my neighbor Charlie in my window. "Hi, buddy," he greets me excitedly. "What are you doing down there?" "Cleaning the kitchen. Sucks, though, because I found some of Sam's Diet Cola under the fridge." "What?"
Did you, choose him from, what's the one anime with
What?
the Psyche?
What? Oh no, Nendo! I did not intentionally do that, no. Hi, buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't even realize.
Hey, bud.
Holy frick.
Hey, bud.
Oops. Okay, I don't know. Probably. Who knows? What are you doing?
Cleaning the kitchen.
Okay. Was I on it or did I read that?
You were on the second sentence.
Huh?
Sucks, though.
Oh,
Sucks,
okay.
though.
I'll just reread it. Cleaning the kitchen. Sucks, though, because I found one of Sam's Diet Cola under the fridge. "Oh, yeah, the special edition, right? That sucks." "Yeah," I replied. Charlie jumped through the window and landed on my kitchen floor haphazardly. "Want to go with me to the stream today? I heard there's some strange things going on with the nearby factory. The animals there are getting pretty interesting." I thought nothing much of it. Sorry. I thought nothing much of it. So I agreed to go with him. I finished cleaning up my kitchen as he watched expectantly, and I followed him outside. We walked to the stream, not too far away from my house. It was dark and murky. I thought it seemed odd. It was usually muddy, but you could tell this was not mud. What's wrong with the water?" I asked Charlie. "Dunno," he replied. "I just heard that the animals were acting funny. Rumor has it it's the factory's fault." Acting funny? I start to get a little worried. I heard a growl behind me that sounded like a wild wolf, and I spun around to see a rabbit. A rabbit. Where did that growl come from? I heard the noise again, and this time I could see it was indeed coming from the rabbit. What? Did it drink the water and this happened? Before Charlie could reply, the rabbit leaped up and tore off Charlie's face. I'm sorry. Let me try again. What? Oh, Monty Python.
Monty Python.
I don't know, man. I was just writing. This is what happened. This is just what came to mind. Okay.
Charlie, no.
I'm sorry. Before Charlie could reply, the rabbit leaped up and tore off Charlie's face. "Holy crap!" I yelled. Okay. Whew. Holy crap, I yelled. Charlie screamed. This hurts a lot, buddy. Ugh. Charlie screamed. This hurts a lot, buddy. Then he fell to the ground in pain. I'm booking it. See you, Charlie. Later, buddy, he replied, as the rabbit's claws sliced through his throat. As I'm running up the stream in the direction of my house, I noticed the smell of the stream was slightly familiar. I got a little closer and dipped my hand in the strange liquid. I took a sniff. It was the Diet Cola. And not just any Diet Cola. It was the special edition. As I run up the stream, I see a bird dive into the water. Not 2 seconds later, it reappears with a guttural screech. It starts attacking a nearby squirrel. That's no good, I say aloud. As the animals left and right start going crazy, I race back home to the safety of my house. Sorry. Okay.
You gotta read ahead.
No, don't read ahead! Yo, you idiot.
Try not to. It just happened.
Stop it. I close my door behind me, finally safe. I sigh in relief. My cat Mittens walks out of the kitchen. My stomach drops as I realize a dark liquid drip from her mouth. I stare in fear as I prepare for my face to be ripped off by her claws. Hello, John, she said.
This is good. The Garfield shit.
I'm sorry I laughed so much, guys. I'm so sorry.
Izzy, it's fine. It's 2 in the morning and we're doing shit.
I know.
We're all doing shit.
Okay.
This is fun though.
Yeah.
Okay, your guys's have like themes and cool stuff. Mine's sad.
Alright.
My business had failed years ago. They had stooped down to levels never thought possible. A deal had been made with the devil. The world can be cruel, a never-ending series of unfortunate events. Anything that had once brought me joy had become a distant memory, shrouded in the clouds of a torturous lifestyle. Joy is now a distant, foreign concept. Does joy even matter? There's clearly a way you can live without it, giving my life continue long after it was lost. Ironic, I suppose, since my soul would depart soon. A tide rolled in, crashing against the stone walls below. It shook the air, bringing a shattering thunder into my ears. All I could feel was unsteady ground creaking beneath me, followed by a sudden cold embrace as I had fallen into the depths below. The turmoil was too much to bear, the weather too powerful to withstand. I decided to open my eyes just wide enough to acknowledge my demise. Smooth stone filled my vision, along with chunks of debris swirling around me. When did I fall into the water? The lightning must have struck the dam when I was dazed. Explains the cold, I guess. Unwillingly, a surge of adrenaline filled my lungs with a sense of determination. There was no denying this feeling, no rejecting this newfound will to live. Which way was up? I searched through the polluted water, the thunder still buzzing through my skull. There it was, my opportunity at living through this mess. A single rubber glove sauntered vaguely through the swirling tide. Going off the very basics of my primary schooling, I decided to follow the glove's direction. Hopefully, light awaited me after. With no air remaining in my lungs, I broke through the surface. All I could see was black. Yet air still invaded my lungs. I had to be moving towards that iconic stream ahead. The one where you would splay yourself onto the sand during those hot summer days, soaking in the sun's peaceful rays. Did I want to experience that again? Nah, I was only feeding into the nostalgia. I laid on my back, letting the surging waters glide me along the banks. The lack of oxygen must have blinded me, but I felt my vision slowly returning, the light's rays piercing my retinas. The water slowed, the sun slowly came into view. I was floating down a winding stream with clothes so drenched and hair so plastered to my face that you could mistake me for driftwood. The gentle waves lapped at my sides, slowly rocking me to shore. There was no strength in my body, as if the life had been sapped straight out of my limbs. With great relief, I let my heavy eyelids close and fall into a restful slumber. Nobody had seen me by the time I awoke. No problem, given my surroundings. There supposedly was a cabin nearby. With every last ounce of my strength, I lifted myself onto my knees and trudged in a direction that was hopefully my food and shelter. After what seemed to be hours of limping along, the sun was beginning to set onto the peaks behind me. Thank goodness. Those low rays caused a glimpse out of the corner of my eye. It was light reflecting off of a series of windows. The cabin. A previously unknown burst of energy returned to my legs, and I managed to stumble through the unlocked front door. I only knew hunger and sleep in that moment, but a letter laid in front of me, as if it had been slid under the front door. Dust had settled upon it, another reminder of the things let go once my past was destroyed. Nothing could get any worse, so why not be curious and open it? The envelope had been glued to an excessive amount, something even more curious. I ripped the letter open using no caution. I had lost that trait long ago, but sent me spiraling once again. Dearest Mr. Sam Walton, we are pleased to inform you that your vote for the product Sam's Club Diet Cola has been passed against your will. What you gonna do? Cry? Yours truly, a corporate dude. Kill me. The end.
Jesus, dang.
Oh.
Corporate
Amber, you should have fully put the "what you gonna do?" Cry. Pants.
Holy crap! I yelled.
I just
Charlie
love
screamed.
how you unintentionally based it off of Nendo.
I know. Oh man.
It would have been better if you asked if you wanted to go to get some
You wanna go
ramen.
get some ramen?
God, I wish.
Oh, ramen sounds good.
Izzy, when am I gonna see you tomorrow?
Whenever.
Good question.
Do you wanna go get some ramen?
I will get the spray bottle.
What if I get ramen to go take out and then deliver it to us before we go get plants?
Potentially.
Okay, I'm gonna get
Amber,
ramen.
what do you think? That's cool.
I'll get to go ramen.